Hey, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Dr. C's Corner. This is your favorite associate dean on the planet here in the Department of Criminal Justice at Southern New Hampshire University Global, Dr. Jeff Zarnick, and I'm just glad to see and be with all of you. I hope you had a very good weekend. For many of you who may have celebrated Father's Day yesterday, I hope it was a great day for you and yours. And I hope all is well in school, work, family, etc. You know, in our profession here, right, in the discipline of criminal justice, we have to be excellent communicators, but we can't be great communicators unless we think critically. In other words, we are not rushing to judgment. We look at things from all angles and really try to get down to the baseline causal factors about problems, because our industry is about problem solving. But emotion's one thing, but it's got to be tempered by one's ability to think critically about problems in order to render what? A good solution, a remedy to that. So here's a great book, and I'm going to recommend it to everyone here. It's called 30 Days to Better Thinking and Better Living Through Critical Thinking. It's a great book. I've dog-eared it. I've read it, and I try to do the best I can to apply it because, heck, no one is perfect. But let me read a little something about being aware of our own hypocrisy, okay? People are hypocritical in three ways. First, they tend to have higher standards for those with whom they disagree than they have for themselves or their friends. Second, they often fail to live in accordance with their professed beliefs. Third, they often fail to see contradictions in the behavior of people with whom they identify, such as people of, say, high status. Hypocrisy, then, is a state of mind unconcerned with honesty. All right? It is often marked by unconscious contradictions and inconsistencies. Because the mind is naturally egocentric, it is naturally hypocritical. Okay? It's part of a hardwiring. Yet at the same time, it can skillfully rationalize whatever it thinks and does. In other words, the human mind naturally wants to see itself in a positive light, right? We're not beating ourselves up. The appearance of integrity is important to the egocentric mind. This is why, as humans, we actively hide our hypocrisy from ourselves and from others through self-deception and rationalization. For example, though we are often selfish, we almost never see ourselves in this light. But we readily see selfishness in others. In other words, it's okay for me to be selfish, but not for you to be selfish. Although we expect others to adhere to much more rigid standards than the standards we impose on ourselves, we see ourselves as fair. Excuse me. For instance, the bookkeeper who steals money from her company may deceive herself into believing the company owes her that money because the company has never paid her what she's worth. Or she might reason that the business is highly lucrative, successful, so they should pay her more, and so on. All these rationalizations enable her to hide from the truth. Though we profess certain beliefs, all of us, we fail often to behave in accordance with those beliefs. So be on the lookout for these things. Look closely at what people say they believe. Compare this with what their behavior implies. Dig out inconsistencies in your thinking and behavior. Notice when you profess a belief and then act in contradiction to that belief. Notice how you, all of us, justify or rationalize inconsistencies in your behavior. Figure out the consequences of our hypocrisy. Does it enable us to get what we want without having to face the truth about ourselves? Figure out the consequences of others' hypocrisies. And it goes on. Just some really good food for thought. To take a pause, take a breath, and sit back, and before we cast judgment, before we make decisions, we need to look at the whole picture. And we need to, as educated people, right? This is the beauty and power of education. We are charged with looking deeper than what's on the surface, aren't we? We are looking at all the facts, all the evidence before we can come forth with the whole truth and nothing but the truth. That is our charge in the service industry. Call it criminal justice, whatever. Social services, human services. We are in servitude to others. But we can only be good at it, or no, scratch that, great at it, if we are thinking critically first. Not easy to do, because we all have our own internal hardwiring, our flaws and our beliefs and our implied biases, all those things, right? But let's not beat ourselves up over that. Let's become better thinkers, all of us together. Okay? Let us get out of our comfort zone. Okay? Let us see how the other flock flies. Let's hear and see and detect what makes people think the way they do before we cast judgment much too soon. We want to be able to render the best, most possible positive solutions for any particular circumstance, for anyone in any walk of life. Is this easy to do? No. So when your professors, your instructors come to you and say, I want you to write this again, I'm not sure what you're saying. When they're asking you to demonstrate critical thinking using the English language as the primary vehicle for understanding, and it's not easy, listen to them. They're not punishing you. They want you to be excellent in your ability to express critical thinking. Have a great week. You can do this.